It has been a while. I'll just get right into this for sake of, well, anything. I went to GenCon this year, and among a lot of other things, I figured I would just ease back into this whole thing again with a little bit of show and tell on some dice I got. For me, I went a little overboard. Nothing too wild, just different than I normally get for myself, which is to say I don't really get a lot of dice for myself. A lot of the stuff that I've acquired were through sets that had already had bundles in them, or people got me dice, things like that. So this is just me kind of going through my dice I got at GenCon 2024. So this is just a picture I took of my collection as of like a long time ago, and all the cool colors I like. I like whites and greens. As a side note, Selesnya is my favorite faction to play in Magic. For those who know. And this playmat I found there at Cool Stuff Inc. Not a sponsor, don't care. Long story short, I liked it. I wanted it. Yeah, it's the red dragon with the various polyhedrals on the side, and I might use this as a background for some things, but I figured I would just, because we're showing off my dice, I'd show off the dice playmat that I got. And while everything in front of me here is something I got at GenCon, as anyone who's a dice goblin will say, there's always a reason why we buy these things, because we want to rationalize our addiction and our problem. I didn't really realize I wanted more dice until I went to GenCon and saw the plethora of companies and unique dice out there. And going to the ChessX booth a few times, specifically just to get unique dice. And I found a few at various places. Let's just start with the one I'm most proud of finding. And that is this set right here. The penguin set that I got for my son, who is absolutely obsessed with penguins. Now, I don't know how well this is going to turn out. But inside these dice are little penguins. I'm going to stand up here. Audio might be a little different. But there's a penguin inside each of these die. And they are just absolutely gorgeous, and they're like little snow globes, each and every one. And when I gave them to him, he was beside himself. So these ones I'm really proud of actually finding and then being able to purchase for him. They're just so cute. For me, I wouldn't want to roll these because I can't read the numbers. But for young eyes, that's not really a big of an issue. The next set, I just found these as part of, I don't have a proper set. This is Twilight 2000's hit dice and the various die that you need for the ammo and attacking and stuff. Haven't really played too much with Twilight 2000. I have it back there. I had a few sessions where I wish I had the official dice. But I picked this up because it effectively made my purchase cheaper. So I didn't need these dice, and that's one of those things where the rationalization is, I don't have these. So I got these. Next set is a set that was GenCon exclusive from Infinite Black. They make a bunch of dice through their Elder Dice line, and these are like these deep hot pink. Can't really place the color, but the sixes are skulls, and they're like little hashy marks for their numbers. And I just thought these were really cool. Generally not my color scheme for stuff that I like, but it definitely fits the theme of the vast grim kind of universe. And actually this playmat is a game that's based in that world, Plunderlust from Creature Creation. I saw them at GenCon as well, and I forget his name, I'm so sorry. The guy who is behind a curation, sorry, has his own line of stuff that is compatible with Vast Grim, which is a sub sort of fan-made and fan-created universe based off of the Mork Borg dice mechanics and rule set. So it's compatible with Mork Borg and other Borg games. I'm going to use Vast Grim with Cyborg, so I can utilize the whole cyberpunk space and the end of the world type of thing together. Anyway, I got these dice because they are the Gen Con exclusives that are for Vast Grim, and I like them, and it's just nice and flashy. Of course, with any dice, that once you have a couple of sets, you don't really need any more, but that's how it is. The next set, which I didn't have in front of me, but I put somewhere else, and I don't know where. I'll find in a moment, but I went to the Catalyst Games booth early on in the weekend, and it was completely packed. Everyone was going in there buying various games, various things. Shadowrun is one of their major things, and this is their 35th year for Shadowrun, so it was kind of a big deal. I played a few games of Shadowrun. A friend of mine ran a really fun session the last time I played, and I really want to play again. For those unfamiliar, Shadowrun is basically you take cyberpunk and mix it with fantasy, and you just smash it together, and that's what you get, and it's pretty freaking cool. Both Shadowrun and Cyberpunk, those two games are very similar in terms of their kind of vibe, but Shadowrun is basically the fantasy version of that. So there are trolls on fast-moving motorbikes shooting and doing gigs and, you know, fighting the system and things like that. But it's just fantasy races in Cyberpunk. So these dice, actually, I don't know if it's going to turn out very well with the current lighting, but they are black light reactive. And I couldn't say no to these. It's a D6 dice pool system, and these are just really cool. They feel really nice, and I mean, who can't say no to a bunch of dice to roll? There's many reasons why we want to roll many dice, many reasons why certain rule systems just want a couple of dice to roll for simplicity's sake. But I like my dice, and the etchings on here are just really cool. The horns for the ones, and the snake-like symbol for the successes, 5s and 6s, which are really cool, which I like as a visual thing. That's really nice. So I got those, and these were some of the, when I got this, by the time I got to the booth and was able to go in and shop, they didn't have a lot of these left, and I'm really stoked to have this set. So hopefully my friend can play again, and I'll use these dice. The other set is, right here. Here we go. I found him. I got him. I went to Beetle and Grimm, and they had a couple of cool sets. As a forever game master, I picked up these. I had wanted to pick up the larger set, but they had sold out and were only taking pre-orders for the next cycle. And as much as I'm not opposed to supporting something that I want down the road, Gen Con for me was about seeing this stuff in person, holding it, and then getting it then and there. So this is just the Game Master dice set, which actually is pretty standard, but I liked the color scheme, and I liked that there was 4 D20s that I could use for various things, and they're slightly different color schemes, so I can assign them to various monsters or NPCs if need be. And it's just nice. I like this set. I like the readability of them. This D100 set I particularly love a lot. I love the kind of like the marble gray, that really deep black on these feel really nice. Words are escaping me today, but I really like these. I wish that the D4s were a little more clear, but other than that, that's not too bad. This one's better. But yeah, the Beetle and Grimm's GM Game Master set. Really cool. Fairly simple. You can use this to fit more dice in there if you want, or minis or anything like that. And the tin is nice, and I probably won't use this as like my travel thing. I have other bags and things I would use, but as a product, this is really nice, and I couldn't say no to a Game Master set, so I got that too. Next, we move on to a bunch of. Well, I got a really nice Japanese cherry blossom dice box. Oh my god! What? The thing that we dice tray. There we go. And I had a friend. So when I was at the con and I saw this at Q Workshop, was at their booth. I've gotten stuff from them before because they have a lot of themed stuff. They had a bunch of Witcher stuff there this year, which I did not purchase. I wasn't really keen on the designs for those dice myself. But I saw this dice tray and I was really intrigued by this. I love this. This in of itself is beautiful. And then I saw that this had writing on it. And as anyone who's gone overseas or just likes to purchase foreign language products, I was very wary on if this meant anything. And I wish I could remember. It's on my phone, which I use for my camera, of course. My friend, I texted her and said, "Hey, can you translate this for me?" And she basically said it meant in all of the dice there are many stories, or something akin to that. If any of you know katakana, Japanese, then feel free to translate it as well. But that was what she said, and said it wasn't, Bear Glove Highlander or something ridiculous for someone who does not speak it. So I was not duped, and thankfully so, because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. The only issue I have with this, which I was unable to test at the time, is, well, you'll hear in just a second. I'm going to take some dice. Headphone users, I'm sorry. It's very loud. It's very sharp and a little jarring, to say the least. So I am going to ask my wife to pour a small layer of resin on there to sort of, one, protect this, but also to dampen the sound of the dice a little bit. So I probably won't use this on camera. Unfortunately, that was my intention, to have a nice thing to use while I play my games here. But I'm gonna have to wait until I can get my wife. Have her have the time to put a resin coating on this. And so the next things I want to go over are the other. I'm just gonna flip this over up here to put where I need a nice blank. I am so prepared today. Well, let's just use the back side of this. There we go. Back side of this map. And hopefully we'll be able to see. Now, I went to, oh man, I'm really bad with remembering where I went in Gen Con. I saw so many things. I went to so many places. I bought way too much stuff. And on Sunday, I went to a dice vendor that specialized in like special kinds of dice. They had a lot of cool dice bags, really cool, gorgeous dice bags, which I did not get. I sort of regret not getting one, but that's okay. I have plenty of other dice bags that I can use. But they had like these special dice that were, these are really cool. These are like asteroids, and the number of asteroids is the dice number. So this is 6, and there's the little asteroid icon. And while I actually was next to somebody, and they were complaining, like, I'm not going to count the number of asteroids on there. And I legit told them, well, I'm not going to use it for a 2d6 system. I'll just use ones that I already have, like this, that I can read, right? This I'll use actually for various space exploration types of things, and which direction that my ship might be facing, or if I'm a GM in a space game that has like encounter-based things, I'll use this to denote what kind of things are in the way. Like this might, if I roll 1 die, well, it looks like we're heading into an area that has 4 asteroid bodies of some sort, or I just might abstract it 4 planetoids or 4 points of interest. You know, I could do that. Or I can say, well, this is the combat start. You know, we got a ship going this way and a ship going this way with things in between. I love dice like this, where I can use them in multiple different scenarios for multiple different things. And something that pips on a dice just can't convey. So I like that I found some pictorial style dice. I really wish I knew what vendor it was. And and along the same lines, I got this one, which is basically the number of dots on a radar pip or a sonar pip or whatever it is. This definitely is more sci-fi oriented. And God forbid trying to actually read this thing. It is very hard to actually. So there's the 1 pip there. There's 3 pips there. There's 2 pips. How many pips off the top of your head? That's 6. And then this is 5. Yeah. So this I will not use at all for counting or for dice rolls. This is akin to this, where I will roll, and the black dot in the center is the ship or the sensor in question, and the white dots are the location and the direction of the encounter, another ship, an enemy, or whatever. So this is pretty cool, and I like that. This is just another tool for me to use at the table for various space and sci-fi oriented games. This one was really cool, and all these so far are from the same vendor of special dice. This one is, I guess you could say, funny, and technically you could count the number of things, but again, not my intention. I wanted to get more of these, but I couldn't justify the amount of money that I was spending at this point. At this point in the con, and at the end of Sunday for me, I was getting very tired, and I was kind of scraping the bottom of my personal budget. And I wish I got more, but I didn't. But this is effectively you know it, you love it, or you don't, a gelatinous cube. And it does kind of, I'm going to just move everything real quick. This is a standard square, and it does fit right there. So it does fit in a 5x5 or a 10x10, depending on your scale. And that's really kind of cool. So I might use that in future things as well, just to, have as a gelatinous cube on the board. I think that's kind of cool. The next one was just because I love the color scheme. The white in navy blue is so gorgeous. I wish there was more dice that were this color scheme that I saw. I did not see much of anything. And I only got this just because of the color scheme. This was marked as like Viking themed, and that's fine and all, but that's not usually my shtick. But I just like it. It's just it's the color. It's the white and the blue, or rather the ivory and the blue is just gorgeous. And at the same place, I got a yes and no 50-50 and a directional die, which is nice. I have a number of these, like what directions, northeast, southwest, or up, down, left, right, that kind of thing. I have others like that, but this one, I like the thematic sort of Tradewind style lettering. I don't know what the font is, but it feels very, if you're on the Pacific, on an ocean, that kind of text, if you will. So I got those as well. And one of my favorite pickups is this D4 with the 1, 2, and 3 is normal, but the 4 is effectively a torch. So I'm going to start using this as my 25% chance of failure or success when lighting or extinguishing a torch in Shadowdark. It's usually a 50-50, but this is just too cool to not include. I'm going to start using this for torch-related incidents with Shadowdark going forward. And for what you see, I don't know what it looks like. I'll have to see the video later, but my perspective is I see a torch, and that means something happens or something doesn't. And if anything else comes up, like this is a 2, then yeah. I also could utilize the direction of the torch as well, but we'll see. That's kind of cool. And a few other special things I got. When I was at Infinite Black and their Elder Dice, I've noticed a lot of vendors are selling D2 coins, basically, yes, no coins, stuff like that. But this is a 1, and then this side is marked with a diamond. I actually got a playmat with this design on it. This one was a GenCon exclusive coin, and I like the design on the back, mostly the 2. It's shaped and etched like it is a flat D20. So this is the 1 side, and then this is the 20 side. But it's a D2. Anyway, I was like on the fence of even getting this, just because I don't really use a D2, because it's just a coin flip, and that's usually a yes/no question. So, but the coin just looked so cool, and it has a nice little heft to it as well. So flip it, and then yeah, we'll see. This is just a standard D20 from Wizards of the Coast booth that was doing the 50th anniversary sort of exposition games for new players. And because I was honestly bored waiting for my next event, I sat down and I joined some prospective players for 5th edition. They were not showcasing the new versions or the new rules. They were very explicit about that at the table. Like, yeah, we're just playing D&D to get people to learn how to play a tabletop role-playing game. And it was a lot of fun. We played in a tavern, and we had a tavern brawl. It was really fun. And one of the event people came around and gave us these. We also got these when we went to the D&D live event on Saturday night at the ballroom. We got front row seats. It was so much fun. That's a whole different story, the whole different thing. But when we left, we were handed these as well. So that's kind of cool. So I got 2 of them, and I gave one to my daughter for her sort of early birthday. I'm back from GenCon kind of splurge. I got my family a lot of stuff. So I gave one of them to her, and I kept the other one. So that was kind of cool. And it's slightly bigger than a standard D20, so it feels kind of nice to roll. I like the gold and the glitter in the middle and stuff, so that's kind of cool. And for my special purchase, they threw in, this was, I forget where this was. This was Q Workshop as well. So, yeah. Oh, of course, we've all done that. This was just thrown at me because there were basically every purchase, everyone got like a random die, which was kind of cool. Personally, not really a fan of the turquoise and gold or bronze. I can't read it as well. The contrast is horrible, but I love the design of each of the numbers on there. It's just really gorgeous. So this will more likely just be in my grab bag of various things. And it looks like every number is a different style. So I'm wondering if this is more of their, hey, these are the types of fonts and designs that we can do. So that's probably what this is, because it looks like every single number, I never really noticed that until right now, is like the 10 is like a steampunky with gears and stuff. And the 17 looks like some sort of scales or something. And the 7 is like an owl hidden in a tree, maybe. The 1 has flowers around it. And let's see, the 20 is, well, just the Q Workshop symbol. I would have liked a 20 or something that's obvious, but I see it. It's branding, right? Yeah, I like all the designs on it. I just can't read it very well. And then for spending way too much money at the roll crit booth for buying a bunch of GenCon merch for myself and my friends, I spent way too much money. They gave me like a tote bag, a bag of holding, another thing, and then also this really gorgeous D20 with the roll for crit thing for the 20, and then, or is it roll for press? I don't remember. I can't remember. But the one there, very clean, very crisp D20 here. Putting a value on this thing, I don't know. It's gorgeous. It is probably going to be my wife's new favorite D20. So I'll probably gift it to her eventually because she likes really colorful things. The colors on here remind me of like when you explode chalk dust on a slow-mo camera. If you've ever seen the slow-mo guys here on YouTube, highly recommend. They have some really cool stuff. That's what this reminds me of, is one of their videos of lots of colors exploding. Yeah. And, yeah, that's it for all the dice and all the things I got from GenCon. I definitely will be coming back, hopefully slightly more regular, coming in the next few weeks. I just wanted to take my first dip into recording with just an exposition of look what I got at GenCon kind of BS. So that is me, people, and until next time, I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.